Hello everyone, my name is Zach and today I'm going to teach you how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So what you and your opponent are going to do first is you're going to shuffle and cut your opponent's deck. After that, both you and your opponent get to draw 5 cards from the top of their deck. So, here's how it is. Now here's the kicker. Whoever goes first doesn't get to draw a card, and they can't attack. However, whoever goes second draws an extra card and gets to attack. And then afterwards, both players get to draw 1 card during their draw phase. Next up is life points. Both you and your opponent begin with 8,000 life points. And the objective is to get the opponent to, drum rolls please, 0. Whoever gets to 0 life points first loses. Now here's how battle works. You take 2 monsters, one from you, one from your opponent. This one has 3,000 attack, this one has 2,500 attack. So, the one with the highest attack wins the battle. And then, you do the math, see how many life points you lose. So my monster was 3,000, my opponent was 2,500, so subtract the numbers, my opponent loses 500 life points. So 8,000 minus 500 equals 75. So you take the difference in damage. Now, if an opponent's monster is in defense mode, and my attack is still higher, you can still attack the opponent's monster, they'll be destroyed. However, no damage will be implied, since you are in defense mode, meaning it's safe. However, both monsters have the same attack, they're both destroyed. However, no one takes any battle damage, because considering they're both the same amount of attack. However, if a monster's attack is lower than the opponent's defense or attack, the monster won't be destroyed, however, they'll still take difference in damage. So, I'll show you. My monster was 2,000. My opponent's monster was 2,100 defense. So I take 100 damage, and my life points would be at 79. Now, there's more than just monsters that can help you. There are also spells and traps. Spells you can activate anytime during your turn, and they could benefit you and help you out. However, trap cards, on the other hand, they're the ones that usually help you stop your opponent. But the downside to trap cards is that you have to set them for 1 turn, and then during the turn after you set it, then you can play it. Just make sure you read the card first. Now I hope you enjoyed this video here. There's still more than just attacking, there's also win conditions like Exodia, the Forbidden One. And we'll get into more details later about this game. But for now, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach, and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now for this video, I'm going to talk about everything that's in a single Yu-Gi-Oh! Card, if that makes sense. So first up, just to let you know, that each card is going to have a specific name. As for example, this one is the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now they all don't have to be the same artwork, as you can tell. These are all Blue Eyes White Dragons. And now some people would like to shorten these names to make it simpler and faster to say. People usually call Blue Eyes White Dragon just Blue Eyes. People will call Breaker the Magical Warrior as Breaker. But if you're confused with the name and you don't know what they mean, it's always okay to ask them for clarification. Now some cards will have another name in it. For example, Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon says, this card's name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard, meaning that you can play as 3 copies of this and 3 copies of this if you want to. Next up is Attribute. As you can tell, this is an attribute. There are a total of 7. Light, Dark, Water, Fire, Earth, Wind, and Divine. Now let's take this Dark Breaker the Magical Warrior, for example. Now let's take Allure of Darkness. It says, draw 2 cards, then banish 1 dark monster. So here's how it works. You play your Allure of Darkness, you would banish your dark monster after you draw, and we'll cover banishing later. Next up is Level. As you can tell, on the top here, on the top right, above the picture, there is a level. In order to normal summon, you must have a monster with level 4 or lower and able to normal summon freely. But you can only get one normal summon per turn, so remember that. If you want a level 5 or 6, you need to get rid of one monster, meaning you have one monster, then you tribute that monster to get your level 5 or 6. Now for level 7 or 8, as you can tell, this guy's a level 8, you need 2 monsters on the field. So here's what you do. You sacrifice one monster and another monster to bring out your level 7 or 8, or above, depending on the card's text. Next up is type. As you can tell, this is a dragon. There are over 20 of them, ranging from dragons to divine beasts, and so many more. If you guys want me to go over all of them, I could. Same with levels too. Well, let's take Silver's Cry for example. It reads, target one dragon normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So here's what we do. We play our Silver's Cry, targeting our dragon Blue Eyes, and bring it back to the field. Next up is Card Border. As you can tell, this is what it has. From here to here, basically. Normal monsters, and there's so many of them by the way, but we'll go over those later. Normal monsters are from their light yellow and don't have any effects, just a flavor text, like a story kinda. Effect monsters have dark orange and they have effect on the name, so it gives them a special ability. Green are spell cards, meaning by their green border. And then lastly, traps are purple, meaning by here to here. Don't forget that. Now what's unique about spells and traps is that they have their own icon. As you can see, the symbol lightning bolt right there, and the continuous sign right there. But we'll go over those a bit later. Now that's the second episode of How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Next time we'll be going over combat and how battle works. So thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya! Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Today we're going to be looking at what's on a spell and trap card. Now there are 6 types of spells: normal, continue, continuous, equip, quick play, field spells, and rituals. Cards you play right away directly from your hand, and once the effect is done, they go straight to the graveyard. Continuous spells has that infinity symbol at the top there, right beside spells, and they're usually on the field forever, unless the card says destroy itself or something happens to it. Equip spells has that little cross right there. And basically what you do is you have a monster on the field, rather your opponent's monster or your monster. You activate your equip spell and you equip one monster to it. So the only way to destroy is either A, if the monster is destroyed, or B, the spell card is destroyed somehow. Quick play spells are defined by their lightning bolt symbol, and they can also be trap cards. You can either activate them at any time during your turn, even the battle phase too, or, if you want to activate during your opponent's turn, you set it for one turn, then on the next turn, you can activate it, just like a trap card. Field spells are defined by their cross like this. It's like you may think it's a equip spell, but this cross looks a little bit different. And field spells go all the way up there, which we'll be talking about field spells a bit more later. Next up is ritual spells. These are defined by the little torch symbol you see. How you do this is you can bring out a ritual monster. But we'll be talking about rituals a little bit later. Next up are trap cards. And there are 3 different types of traps: normal, continuous, and counter. All trap cards, all you have to do is set it for one turn, and then after the turn you set it, you can activate it. Just as long as you read the card effect, of course. Continuous traps are just like continuous spells. However, they have the side effect where you have to set it for one turn, then activate it. And they usually they're usually there forever, unless it has an effect where it makes it go bye-bye, or something happens to it. And lastly, there are counter traps. Here's how it goes. You have a monster, and you have a trap, a counter trap. If your opponent were to summon a monster, you can activate your counter trap. And it says here, if you control level 7 or lower normal monster, when a monster will be summoned or a trap will be activated, negate the effect. And since I have a level 7 or higher normal monster, my counter trap negates that monster's summon. And that's all the time I got for this video. Thank everybody for watching, and we'll be going over the field next. so I hope you enjoy. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be focusing on ritual summoning. A ritual monster is a dark blue color like this, and you would need a ritual spell in order to summon it. So let's take the Magician of Black Chaos for example, and the spell card Black Magic Ritual. Basically, I activate my Black Magic Ritual, attributing a monster or monsters with a combined level of 8 or more from my hand or field to the grave, and then I can summon my Magician of Black Chaos. There are other types of ways of ritual summoning, not just from the hand or field, but you can also do it from the deck as well, graveyard, or extra deck. Be sure to read the card first. Well, that's all for this video. I'm sorry it's not a bit longer than the other ones, but there's not much to go through when it comes to ritual summoning. So thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! For this video, we'll be going over the field and how it works exactly. You'll notice at the top here of any playmat, you'll see the main monster zone. And basically what you're going to want to do is place your monsters here. These are where your monsters go. Pretty much all your monsters go here, besides Pendulum if they're special summoned from the extra deck, or Link monsters if they're special summoned from the extra deck. Next up is the Spell and Trap Zone. Basically, this is where you get to activate spells or set traps, your basic shenanigans. However, there's a twist to this. If you guys notice, your Pendulum cards can go there too, which I'll be explaining about that a bit more later. Next up is your extra deck. It's usually in the bottom left corner, and comprises of 15 or less cards in your extra deck, from Fusion, Synchro, XZs, Link, and depending on the circumstances, Pendulums, which we'll be going over all those later. Field spells go on the far right corner, on the top. Well, not far right, far left, sorry. And they go up here. They're not down here, meaning it's a 6 spell card, which I think I've said that before. Now the graveyard is usually where when something's destroyed or something's sent to the grave, this is where it goes. Now there is something called a banished zone. It's not shown on any playmat or anything, but basically once a card is banished, it's removed from the duel forever, permanently, unless there's a specific card that can allow you to bring it back. But for example, right, you have Silver's Cry, where it says target one dragon at our player's grave, well not either, but your dragon normal monster in your grave. You can't do that if you're banished, because since it's banished, it doesn't work. Last up, and not least, is your deck zone. This is where you put your deck comprised of 40 to 60 cards. So that's it for this video on how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Sorry if the lighting and all that seems to be a bit different. The desk I usually use is kind of busy, but I hope you guys enjoyed it anyways. So thank everybody for watching, and we'll be seeing you in the next video. See ya. Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Today we'll be learning about pendulum summoning. So how a pendulum card works is basically it's half spell, half monster. As you guys can tell, the top is monster, the bottom is spell. Basically, when they're in their pendulum zone, their pendulum effect will activate, but not their monster effect. However, if they're on the monster field, their monster effect is going to activate, but their pendulum effect cannot activate. So let's take these two for example. We have the pendulum scale of Stargazer Magician and a pendulum 8 of Time Gauge Magician. What you do is basically put your pendulum zones right on the edges here of your spell and traps. You can also play your spells and traps here as well. Just like that. Here's how you can perform a pendulum summon. You can summon monsters between levels 2 and 7 from your hand or face-up extra deck, like this. How frickin' broken is that, right? One cool thing to mention about pendulum monsters is that they can go face-up on your extra deck. And if you were to pendulum summon from the face-up extra deck, you have the extra monster zone. which I forgot to mention this in the last video, so I do apologize, but you do have another zone called the Extra Monster Zone. If you have a Pendulum Monster in your Extra Monster Zone, you cannot special summon other monsters based from your extra deck on here. Unless you have a Link Monster, of course, which we will be going over that next video. Now, if a Pendulum Monster were to leave the field, instead of going to the grave, they'll actually go face up in the Extra Monster Zone. Extra deck, sorry. However, if you have a card that says send one card from your hand to the grave or send a card from your deck to the grave, you would think it goes on the extra deck. Actually, it just goes to the grave. Same thing goes for banishing too. Now, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure if you have a monster... Actually, no. Okay, so basically, I remember this now. If you have a monster, Pendulum Monster in your field, and it gets banished, it just goes banished. It doesn't go to the Extra Monster Zone, so I'm sorry if I almost confused you guys. But yeah, as the Lure of Darkness, if you banish it, yeah, sorry, I guess I didn't need to explain that, did I? Lastly, there are also Fusion Pendulums, Synchro Pendulums, and Xyz Pendulums. These guys, they go face down your extra deck like normal, but you can still summon them as the Fusion, Synchro, or Xyz monster. Basically, afterwards, if they were to get destroyed, they'd have their own way to place them on the pendulum scale, which is pretty cool if you think about it, huh? I like this card, even though he sucks. Konami, make better support to get this guy out easier. Forgot to mention this on my ritual video, but if you were to, you must first special summon a ritual monster normally as a ritual card. If you were to send it to the grave or something, you can't bring it back with Monster Born just like that, so I'm sorry I forgot that, guys. Is everything about how to pendulum summoning. And I know this one's a bit complicated, and a lot of people don't like the summoning mechanic, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach, and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over Link summoning. A Link monster is identified by a blue border, and you might think it's a ritual monster, but it's not, as they're very different. For one, Link monsters have no level or rating. Number 2, they don't have any defense. They can't switch to defense whatsoever, but instead they have a Link arrow of free. And lastly, they have Link markers, which we'll be going over that soon. So how do you Link summon? Well, you look at Honeybot, for example, and it requires 2 Cybers monsters. So what you do is you take your 2 Cybers monsters, send them to the grave, and place them in your Extra Monster Zone. Now there are 2 types of ways of Link summoning. You can either take the Link rating it has, which is Link free for this one, so you take your free effect monsters, and summon them in the Extra Monster Zone. Now there is another way. As you guys can see, this card Decode Talker requires 2+ effect monsters. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your Honeybot, for example, which is a Link rating of 2. So, you take your Link 2 plus 1 effect monster, that equals 3, and now you get your Link 3 monster. Just be sure to read the card first before you can do that kind of summoning. You can also use tokens and trap monsters in order to Link summon. Just be sure to read the card first. If it says effect monsters, tokens won't work, and some trap monsters won't work. However, if they say normal monsters or just monsters in general for their requirement to Link summon, you're good to go, mate. Now let's take a look at those Link arrows we were talking about earlier. As you guys can see, Decode Talker is pointing this way and this way, meaning you can only Link summon with an Extra Monster Zone. However, if you have an arrow pointing somewhere, you can also summon Link monsters and Pendulum monsters from your extra deck into that zone. What's cool about this is that if you have a Link monster in your monster zone, and you have a Link monster in your main monster zone, that main monster zone gives you more room in order to put other extra deck monsters that are Link monsters or face-up Pendulum monsters. So that's pretty cool. Now let's say you're trying to take control of an opponent's Link monster. Basically, if they have one in their extra monster zone, you'll take control of it, however, it'll go to your main monster zone instead. And then, when you have to give it back to your opponent, they'll go to their main monster zone. So be careful about that, because you're allowing them to use their extra monster zone again. Now let's say you're going to resurrect a Link monster from your grave, right? That's Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, whatever you have. Again, they'll go to your main monster zone, which allows you to get a free extra monster zone. Very cool, right? Now let's say that you're going to banish a Link monster. Let's look at Farfa, Malebranche of the Burning Abyss's effect. Pretty much, it says that I can banish one monster on the field until the end of the turn. So, I can banish my Link monster. However, just like controlling or resurrection, they'll return to the main monster zone, giving you a free room for your extra monster zone. Before I carry on, there's just one more important thing to note, is that you can only get one extra monster zone. You cannot use the other one, that one, for your opponent. Unless you can find a way to do that, which I'll be explaining that in just a moment. Now what does it mean to be linked? Pretty much you have your Link monster, and whatever it's pointing to is linked to it. And depending on the Link monster, it gains its effects, depending on the monster it points to. There's also something called a co-linked. Pretty much, two Link monsters will be pointing directly at each other. And sometimes there are Link monsters that have an effect where you can co-link. The last kind of linked is an extra link. Pretty much, you take one Link monster, and depending on the arrow, you can summon another Link monster. And if that arrow is pointing that way, another Link monster. Pointing that way, another one. And pointing up, you get your other extra monster zone. Not only taking your opponent's extra monster zone, you can also get 7 more monsters on the field in total. How insane is that, right? Used to be a problem back in the day. Now that is all for Link summoning. I'm sorry this one took a while. There's a lot to go through when it comes to Link monsters. Next time we'll be going over fusions. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over fusion summoning. Now, a fusion monster is a purple monster, and they have to go in the extra deck. Fun fact, they were the first extra deck monsters in the game. So you might be wondering, how do you summon this Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon? As you can see, it says, free Blue Eyes White Dragons. So how a fusion summoning works is you need the requirements from either your hand or field, and you need a polymerization card, which says, fusion summon one fusion monster using the materials you control. So here's what you do. You have the materials on either your hand or field, you activate your polymerization, using these guys to the grave, to make your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Just think of it as hybrid, you know? Now it won't say specific monster names. For example, Gem Knight Seraphonite says, one light monster and one gem knight monster. So they can say dark monster, light monster, dragon monster, anything basically. Just as long as you read the card first. Now there are other fusion spell cards for different types of decks too. There's some Cybers, Dark Tradition, anything. You can use some cards. You can use your deck, and mainly, or graveyard, or banish too. Just depends on the card, of course. Now there's also something called contact fusion. Basically, most of the time anyway, you need the monsters on the field or grave, depending on the circumstance. But here's the thing. You don't need polymerization. Let's take a Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, for example. And it says, in the text here, in which you do not use polymerization. What you do, you do some materials to the grave. Just like that. No polymerization too. That's pretty cool. Now there are ways to cheat fusion monsters out. For example, Cyberstein reads, pay 5,000 life points, special summon a fusion monster from your extra deck in attack position. So here's what you do. You summon your Cyberstein, and then you can pay 5,000, bring your Ultimate Dragon. Now here's the downside to it. If your Ultimate Dragon were to get destroyed or sent to the grave in either way, you would want to bring it back with like Monster Born, Call of the Haunted, you can't because it wasn't properly summoned. For example, right? If you want to properly summon it, you need the polymerization stuff. You fusion summon it, and then once it's destroyed, then you can play whatever card brings it back. Now that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Sorry that the card's a bit damaged. It was when I had it years ago. Next time we'll be going over synchro summoning. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody. My name is Zach, and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over synchro summoning. Now a synchro monster is identified by its white border, and it has the requirements of one tuner plus one non-tuner or more monster, depending on the card. So you might be wondering, how do you synchro summon? Basically you need a tuner. For this case there is a tuner right there, and a non-tuner. And you have to add the levels up, so this is level 4, a level 4, 4 plus 4 equals 8. Plus your tuner as well, don't forget. So once you have your monsters out in the field, you send them to the grave in order to bring out your synchro monster from the extra deck, just like Fusion and Pendulum and Link and all that. Now there are ways to cheat out synchro monsters. For instance, there's Ultimaya Zoken. Basically you set a card, you get to bring out a synchro monster from your extra deck. However, I don't know if I said this about Fusion, but if you cheat, actually I did, but if you don't successfully synchro summon, once that monster is destroyed, you can't bring it back unless it was successfully synchro summoned. Now some synchro monster will have a specific card name. For instance, this one needs Jet Synchron, or some synchro monsters might need more tuners or more non-tuners, as Trishula says right here. Just be sure to read the card first. Well, that is all for synchro summoning. Sorry this one was short, there's not a lot to go over. However, next time, we'll be going over XZ summoning, which is my favorite. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be doing my personal favorite, XZ summoning. Now, an XZ monster is identical by its black border. And here's the unique thing. They don't have levels. Instead they have ranks, right there. Do you guys want to know the difference? That's the difference right there. So how do you perform an XZ summon? Well, you take two monsters with the same level. For example, number 39, Utopia, needs 2 level 4s. So, you stack them on top of each other, and XZ summon like that. Now here's what's interesting about XZ's materials, as they're called, which are these. There are no longer monsters on the field. However, there are actually the monster's effect. Basically, if you want to activate the 39 Utopia's effect, which if a monster attacks him, you can detach the material, negate the attack. So you just take one of the materials, send it to the grave, and his effect activates. Another thing that's interesting about XZ's monsters is that if they're destroyed, their materials go with them. If they are returned to the extra deck, the materials go to the grave. However, if the XZ's monster was banished, the materials are still destroyed no matter what. Also, just keep in mind that XZ's materials can attack as well, just what you guys should know. Now, there is another way of XZ summoning. Basically, you can also XZ summon an XZ's monster by using another XZ's monster. That sounds weird, but let me explain. Let's take my favorite monster, and my favorite card, Divine Arsenal Doubly Zeus Sky Thunder. Basically, if we attack with our Utopia, we can overlay our number 39 into Divine Arsenal Doubly Zeus. And materials from 39 also go to Zeus, which is pretty cool, huh? Now, just like Fusion, Synchro, and Link, if you're able to cheat an XZ's monster out and then it's sent to the grave, you can't use anything like Monster Born or anything like that anymore. Here's something I forgot to mention in all the summoning videos, is that if you had something to return that, like Compulsive Evacuation Device, where you'd target one monster on the field, return it to the hand, for Fusion, Synchro, XZ's, and Link, and Pendulum if they're from the extra deck face up, instead of going to your hand, they go back into your extra deck. Except Rituals, of course, they go back to your hand, unless Pendulum monsters are just from the hand to the field, of course. Now that's all for XD summoning. Let me know what you guys think of this one. This one's my favorite, but I'm curious to know what your guys' favorite are too. And that's all just summoning mechanics. We'll be going over a normal, flip, special, all of that in the next video, so I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over different types of summoning mechanics. First is your normal summon. Basically, if you have a level 4 or lower, you can bring it out to the field just like that. From your hand, of course. Just know that you only get one normal summon per turn, so choose wisely what you're going to summon. There are some cards that you can make more than one normal summon, but those are rare. A flip summon is when you have a card set face down on the field, like this. So let's take Man-Eater Bug for example. As you can see, it has a flip right there. So here's how it goes. You set it for one turn, then on your following turn, you flip it face up from face down defense to face up attack, and its effect will activate. Just know that setting also is considered a normal summon, so don't forget. If you have more than one flipped face down monster, you can flip them all as many times as you want. Like that. Just know you can't flip it face down anymore afterwards, unless you have a specific card. It has to be face up attack or defense. Now, tribute summoning is also considered a normal summon. And how do you do it? You need levels that are higher than level 4. So for example, a level 5 or 6, as in this case, this guy's a level 6, you need one monster. So you tribute one monster to the grave, bring this guy out. Remember, it's only one tribute summon, unless you have another card, so choose wisely. For a level 7 or 8, you would also need 2 tributes. Anything that's level 7, 8, and above counts as 2, so don't forget. Side note, you can also set them face down as well, but you still need the requirements, of course. Now there are very rare cards that say you need you need free monsters. So what you do is sacrifice your free to bring out this guy. My favorite Egyptian god card too. Before we end today's lesson, we have something called Special Summon, which isn't like a normal summon. Basically, on the effect of a card, if it says Special Summon, that is counted as a card effect. So for example, our opponent has a monster on the field, and we do not. Cyber Dragon says, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can Special Summon it. And you can also normal summon as well. When you Special Summon, you have to either put it in face up defense or face up attack, unless it says face down defense. If you have any cards that say you can Special Summon more than once, go right ahead and bring out as many monsters as you wish, as long as you have the cards, of course. Now that is all for different types of summonings. I hope you guys enjoyed. Next time we'll be going over the phases, which can be a bit confusing. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over the phases. Now there are 6 phases: Draw Phase, Main Phase 1, Standby Phase, Battle Phase, Main Phase 2, and End Phase. Let's start with the Draw Phase. This is the beginning of the turn, and this is when you get to draw a card from your deck. Just know that if you can't draw anything from the top of your deck, you automatically lose the duel. The draw phase is usually when people can either have the ability to activate quick play spells or trap cards. One more thing about the draw phase is that if you go first, your opening hand is only 5 cards. You don't get to draw an extra card. Next up is main phase 1. This is when you get to activate spells and traps, just like the draw phase. I just want to say that that's the standby phase, not the main phase 1. Sorry to confuse you guys. Now there are some cards that actually activate during the standby phase,
For example, Imperial Order says during the standby phase you must pay 700 life points in order to keep this card activated. So next up is main phase 1. What you can do on main phase 1 is you can normal summon a monster, flip summon or special summon depending on the card, change the monster's battle position once per turn, activate a monster effect, activate spells or traps, or you get to set spells or traps too. Next up is battle phase. This is where you can make attacks. So if your opponent doesn't have any monsters, you can just attack them directly, or if they do, you can attempt to destroy it. However, just know, whoever's going first does not get to attack at all. And they'll be automatically moved to main phase 2 and end phase. You can also activate spells and traps too on your battle phase as well. And if you don't have to attack if you don't feel comfortable to. Next up is main phase 2. Now this is very similar to main phase 1, however there are a few things. One of them is that if you normal summon a monster during main phase 1, you cannot conduct a normal summon during your main phase 2. And you cannot switch your battle position after you attacked on main phase 2. So just keep that in mind. The last phase is the end phase. Basically, you say you end your turn or end phase, and your turn's automatically over, and then your opponent does the same thing you just did. Just know that there are some things here. Some effects do have an effect where they activate during the end phase. I don't have any examples here, but just read your cards and you'll be able to find out. And there's a hand limit. If you have more than 6 cards, you have to discard one to the grave, because the hand limit for Yu-Gi-Oh! Is 6. Now that is all for the phases. I'm sorry this one's a bit rough. 1, the phases can be very confusing to learn. And 2, I'm a bit tired, so I'm a bit sloppy. And I'm sorry about that. I'll leave timestamps below so you guys know what I'm talking about. But thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.
Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over how to build a deck. So basically, what you want to try to do is get as many monsters as you can for your deck, with spells and traps of course. And there are 2 ways you can go by this. You can either use the best cards that you have, or build a deck on a specific archetype like Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, ABCs, whatever. For this video, I'll be using Cubics, and for the next video, I'll be using it for a duel. So let's get started. I play free Vijamna Cubic Seed because can be destroyed by battle. If my opponent tries to attack it, I can put it in my spell and trap zone, and that monster can attack. And it's good for the other cubic cards that we have to send too. Dark Arnix, we just need to send 1 cubic card. He gains 1000 attack, and can attack twice. I mean 1, sorry. And if we send to the grave, we get to add Blade Garudia, which we'll go over that later. This is supposed to be a 3rd Summoner Monk, so ignore that. Blade Garudia, he gains 2000 by sending 2 to the grave, and can attack twice. And then afterward gets to add Buster, which we'll go over that after. Vulcan, Dracony the Cubic King, he gains 1600 attack, and he does 800 damage to your opponent. And once he's sent to the grave, he gets to add Enduria Doomvault, this guy, which we'll be going over that later. Free Summoner Monk, you discard a spell, special summon level 4 or lower from your deck. So for example, we'll be using Duza. When Duza's normal or special, I can descend a cubic card from my deck to the grave. And if a cubic card is sent to the grave, he gains a 200 attack for each monster until the end of the turn. So for Duza, we'll be sending Cubic Karma, and sometimes Unification, which we'll be going over those later. Buster, you send free cubic monsters, he gains 3000 attack, and he can attack 3 times. If he is sent to the grave, we get to add a cubic card from our deck to our hand. Enduria Doomvault, he gains 2400 attack, does 800, and when he's sent to the grave, he gets to add a cubic card. Now here comes our boss monster. Basically, he can't be no more special summoned. He has to be special summoned by revealing 3 cubic cards from your hand. He can attack twice. He's unaffected by monster effects with 3,000 or less attack. And during the end phase, you can burn both players for 3,000. So that's it for the monsters. Next up is Reoccurring Nightmare. You target 2 cards with 0 defense, add them to your hand. So again, Crimson Nova, and of course, Vajam, obviously. Next up, Fusion Description. You reveal a card, a fusion monster, add the material to your hand. So we'll be revealing Trinity, but we get to add a Crimson Nova. And next up is Cubic Wave. You double the attack of 1 cubic monster, and then half one of your opponent's monsters. And it has a banish effect, which we don't care. Foolish Burial Goods is really good because we get to send our spell or traps to the grave. We'll be sending Cubic Karma or Unification. Speaking of Cubic Karma, his effect is that I can target a cubic monster, send any number of Vajams from my deck to the grave. That monster gains 800 attack for each. So if we get Crimson Nova on the field, we send 3 Vajam, he'll be 5,400. And then, if a monster is specially summoned by a cubic effect, I can send it to the grave, half my opponent's life points. Here's the most important one. We can banish it from our grave, add a cubic card from our deck to our hand. So that's why you see Duza and Foolish Burial Goods and stuff like that, to get this card in the grave as much as possible. Also, I'm glad my stream is lagging, of course. Twin Twisters, again, discard 1, destroy 2. The Mirror Forests, they're pretty good. Unification, Fusion, summons your Trinity. Banish it from your grave. If a cubic card is sent to the grave, bring out a level 4 lower, ignoring its summoning conditions. But it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Then you have the Solemn Regrade. You rarely get this guy out, but if you do, hey, that's awesome. The main boss monster technically is Crimson Nova, and the original one, so yeah. Number 39 for defense. Burn, destroy, negate, target, bounce, attack, forgot. This guy can bring out your big guys here, so he burns you for 2,000. Mixed monsters protected. Big guy and gains 2,000 attack permanently. Then you also play number 60. Depending on the effect, you get certain things. Skip your draw phase, draw 2 cards, discard 1. Skip your main phase, special summon monster and defend. Skip your battle phase, double 1 attack of a monster. So yeah, that's it for my cubic deck. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everyone, my name is Zach, and welcome to the final episode of How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now for this one, I'm not going to be using my deck, I'm going to be using a loner deck, so that way this video lasts a little bit longer, because it's the finale. Before I begin, I just want to set some rules on how you start a duel. First, both you and your opponent shuffle you place your deck and extra deck on the proper placements. Next, you allow your opponent to cut your deck, and they'll do the same for you. Place your deck in the deck zone, and determine who goes first, whether that's dice or, you know, like heads or tails, whatever you guys want to do. And then the winner chooses rather to go first or second. And then both players draw 5 cards, however the player that goes first doesn't get to draw an additional card. So, here we go. Here's my loner deck I'm going to be using, it's Monarchs. Monarchs are good for tributing because they have effects based on when they're tribute summoned. So yeah, this will be fun. Let's do this. Play select random. You're going first. Okay, that's fine. Ugh. This hand sucks. I think I'm just gonna place that and end my turn. This hand sucks. I hope I don't lose. I just want to show you guys. Oh no, I could be dead. Usually, for matches anyways, there's a best 2 out of 3, so depending on how this goes, I might do one. Oh my god, this hand. I might know how to do something. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Anyways, let's attack, bitch. I love Yu-Gi-Oh so much. Oh, another face down, huh? Let's attack again. You know what? I think I might do this the best 2 out of 3. Hang on. Oh, I wasted that. Oops. Okay, don't do what I did. Oh wait, because it's your opponent's, right. Fuck, I forgot about that. Ooh, ether. Do I risk it? I think I'm going to. Oh yeah, there's also chain link, so whenever you activate an effect, if another effect is activated at the same time, that effect is considered a chain link. So the effect that activates last, so like the card that activates the most recently, I'm not explaining this well, but since I activated Aether, sorry, second, I get to use her effect first before my spell. Then my spell gets to activate. And I think I'm gonna add another Erebus. And then this activates in the grave. Again, chain. Watch this. Since I activated mine now, mine gets to activate first. Then he gets to activate his. And then I'm gonna activate Pantheism in the grave, allow me to add 3 cards. I guess you, and you. And then he gets to pick which one I get to my hand. The rest goes... Well, I guess this... oh well. This is attack. And then we'll attack for game. Now that's just the first one. If we win a second one, we're done. If we lose, we have to do a third round. Random again. Why am I always going first? Well, good luck. Okay, this hand's... Let's see. Extravagance, banishing 6 random to draw 2. Oh. I'm just gonna have to set a monster and hope it survives. Oh, Jesus Christ. Perfect. I have to bait his back row somehow. Back row, in case you guys don't know, is the spell and traps, what people call it. What do I want? I guess we'll go for 2 Stormforce and a return. I was kind of hoping he'd add the return, but that's alright. Okay, I'm gonna activate March of the Monarch so that my monster is safe. Flip you. Okay, that scared me for a sec. Summon you. You allow me to... Wait, why did I don't know. Then I can bring out Ether. I'm going to activate Aether as Chainlink 1, and then I'm going to activate Ether as Chainlink 2. No. We're going to send Prime and Pantheism. We're going to summon Erebus. Pantheism gets to add that. Athos is Chainlink 1. Prime is Chainlink 2, and we're not going to use Stormforth. Now, do I get to... No, I can't. That's alright. We're gonna activate Pantheism, sending this to draw 2. Alright, let's attack. Why didn't you just summon that before? I could have protected you. Like, I could have saved you more life points. I'll end my turn. Erebus goes back to my hand, but if these cards stay alive, I get to summon him next turn. What was your effect again? Special summon. An opponent you can send. And what do you do? No, that's fine. Okay, you're dead, but that's fine. Now, maybe for my battle phase, if that works. Now we can do a bunch of shit right now. Now, yes, too. Rhyme. Then his effect, I think he gets to shuffle a card from the hand, but that's not that useful. Return Chainlink 1. Ida Chainlink 2. And then Erebus Chainlink 3. They can go up. Ooh. We'll make this Chainlink 4. We'll banish Stormforth. And then we will send Prime and I guess, the first monarch. I guess we'll shuffle that one. And we'll add Omega. Activate Pantheism. Ooh. I will show Ether. Then we'll add Stormforth in case. And then we'll enter battle. I think this is game, perhaps. No, not quite. Actually, it is. Oh shit. Now that is how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Congratulations to everybody who's watched all the videos. You now know pretty much everything about it. If you guys have any questions about Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like different rules or whatever you guys want me to go through, let me know. I'm glad to help. And if you guys want me to do like speed duels or whatever, I guess I could do that. If you guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, or if you guys want to see me play Master Duel, just let me know and I'll do it. Before we end it, recently the creator, I always mispronounce his name, but Kahoshi Takahashi, I don't know if I said that right, he passed away recently, and that sucks. It's really unfortunate, which is why for just like Technoblade, I'm going to do a tribute for him as well, coming up soon. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for joining me on this journey for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I hope to make more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content in the future. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.
Alright. Do I got fan mail or something? Let's check this out. Zach, I have trapped you in the Shadow Realm. If you want to escape, you must complete your How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, or else you will be trapped here forever with your other dead series, like Battlefield 2042 and many more. From Yami Bakura.
Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm glad to be back, I will say that. I'm not a fan that I'm trapped in an evil dimension, but anyways, I'll be free soon hopefully, so let's begin. Now I'm gonna do two things for now on, just because it's, you know, the revival, and I don't know, I kind of want to make things a bit different. So yeah. For this first topic, we'll be going over discard, because not many people know what it does. So for those of you who don't know, discarding means you just discard it from your hand like this. So you have, let's just say you have a card that says you have to discard a card, or you discard itself, like Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. All you do is just discard it from your hand to the grave. Pretty simple, huh? Now for this last one, I want to go over a hand trap. Now I know that sounds weird, and I know you're probably thinking, what the hell is a hand trap? So, basically, it's a card that says whenever your opponent activates something, it's like a quick effect. This can be activated during any turn. So like, if my opponent activates something during my turn, I can discard it, depending on the effect of course, and negate it. Same thing goes for if you're going second, right? Your opponent tries to play something like terraforming to add a field spell. You just use your Ash Blossom here, which negates any cards from being added from the hand to the deck. From the deck to the hand, sorry. And just like that. Pretty simple. Both are pretty simple, actually. Okay, so that is discarding and hand traps done. Sorry this one wasn't too long. Again, I'm just getting started again. So we're going to do some basics. You know, maybe we do something a bit interesting. Levels are another one. So thank you everybody for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. What is going on? That's weird. The power went out. Who are you?
Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over normal monsters. So this is going to look a bit odd considering we talked about normal monsters before and there's not a lot to go through. However, back in 2017 they made a massive change. Well, not really massive, but a weird one, but anyways, I'll show you that in a sec. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but this says, you know, a normal monster has like the yellowish color, a text of a story or whatever. And it also says just what type it is. So like for Blue Eyes White Dragon, it's just dragon. It's been like that for years, trust me. Now let's look at a different Blue Eyes. It has the same thing, you know, but now it says dragon / normal. So back in 2017, it was either, I need someone to correct me if I'm wrong. It was either the first Battles of Legend or the Link Strike Star deck that they added the text normal. Which, now that I think about it, might be the Link Strike Starter deck, but I could be wrong. So why was this a change that they needed? No idea. Like, I'm pretty sure people knew that this was a normal monster anyway, without it saying normal. So, yeah. Now, for those of you who are asking, hey, Zach, can I still use cards like Swing of Memories or any card that can do shit with normal monsters? And the answer to that is yes. You can still use Swing of Memories to bring back any of these two. It doesn't matter. All it just does really is change it to dragon / normal. You can still use old ones. It does nothing. You're safe. The last thing I want to talk about today are the level mechanics. No, I'm not talking about the levels up there, the stars. No. I'm talking about their an actual level. So let's just take this guy for example. Silent Swordsman. Basically, they're a mechanic where, depending on what you do, you tribute their weak levels to bring out a stronger one. So for Silent Swordsman level 5, it says during your standby phase, you can send it to the grave to special summon level 5. So you send it to the grave and you make out your Silent Swordsman level 5. And then they all get bonus effects too. For example, level 3 says negate your opponent's spell effects that target this card. Level 5 says that this card is unaffected by your opponent's spell cards. And then during your next standby phase, if this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent through a direct attack, sadly, you contribute this to bring out the last one, the level 7. And now here's the boss monster, Silent Swordsman level 7, which you can't bring it out unless you use level 5. And its effect basically reads that it negates all spell effects on the field. Now, if I didn't want to play the level 3 guy, could I still bring out the level 7 with the level 5? Yes, you can. There might be some level cards where you can't. That depends, though. Like Silent Magician, there's only 2 levels, level 4 and 8, so yeah, you're good there. But again, it's a slow mechanic. It's cool, I guess, but not much going for it. So that is another episode of How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Done. I'm still going to try figuring out how to get out of here because of Bakura, but yeah, anyways, thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach, and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Sorry. So first up, we'll be going over Gemini monsters and see what they do. So Gemini monster is a hybrid, you can call it, between a normal monster and an effect monster. Basically, while it's on the field, it becomes a normal monster, and in the grave too. So how it works is, let's say you have it in your hand, right? First, you normal summon it, it's treated as a normal monster, no effects or anything like that. But on your next turn, afterwards, if it survives, you can change it into an effect monster, which is cool. Now, all Gemini monsters have the effects where this card is treated as a normal monster while in the field or in the graveyard. While this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon it to have an effect monster with this effect. So basically,
with his effect, once he becomes an effect monster, it says at the start of the damage step, this card attacks a special summon monster, banish it. So, let's say this monster was special summoned, I attack it, it's banished. So, yeah. Now, can you use stuff like Swing of Memories to bring it back from the grave since it's a normal monster? Yes. Effects that affect normal monsters on the field or grave still work. However, the deck and hand, not really. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. Next up are tokens. Now, I don't know about you. I've vaguely mentioned it in one of my videos, but I'm gonna explain it now. So a token is a gray card right here, as you guys can see. Most of the times it has no attack, and you cannot use it in a duel, but you can use it for monster effects. So basically how you get tokens out is there's usually a monster spell or trap that says you can special summon many tokens on X amount of tokens on the field. So you can use this card, Cosmic Compass. Your opponent controls a monster. You bring out a token. Now here's the crazy shit about tokens. One, you can have unlimited basically, if you have the right cards of course, only up to 5. And they're counted as normal monsters, so you can use these as link material as well. But here's the catch though, since they're considered as normal monsters, you can only use them for link monsters that specifically say either A, monsters, or B, normal monsters. So if a link monster says effect monsters or monsters accept tokens, you can't use it. So that is another How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Done. I'm still stuck here, but at least the Modern Warfare 2 Early Access works here, so that's good. But thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over piercing damage and spell counters. So normally when you have a monster, when both you and your opponent have a monster in attack mode, and let's say your monster is stronger than the other one, your opponent takes damage equal to the difference. But for piercing, however, some monsters have the effect where when it attacks the defense position monster and inflicts piercing damage. So let's take Air Knight Parshat for example. If it attacks my monster's 0 defense monster, it'll take 1900 points of damage. Cool, huh? And plus he gets to draw a card too, which is handy. There are some monsters, however, where they do double the piercing damage. So if you have a 4000 attack monster, attacks 0 defense, it's game over. And it's one of my favorite cards too. Next up are spell counters, which this can be confusing for some people, but basically when it has an effect that says place a spell counter, you place like a dice or something like that. And if you want to, if it makes a certain amount of, if it makes it to max counters, or if you want to get rid of one, you just remove it. For Breaker the Magical Warrior, for example, you remove the counter, it destroys a spell or trap your opponent controls. It can be easy, but at the same time there are some complicated ones like Endymion. So yeah. Then that's it for today's video. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. There's this haunted school called Unbuilted McMansion or something like that. So I'm going to check it out soon. Anyways, bye-bye. Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now first we're going to go over once per duel effects. So in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's things like once per turn where like you only activate it once for your turn, and then for your next turn you can activate it again. Once per duel cards, however, you can only activate it in one duel, so once you activate you can never use it again. So let's say you have Bacon Saber as an example. His effect is when an attack is occurring, you can banish it and negate the attack. So let's say my monster has this out on the field, he wants to attack me directly. I can banish this from my grave and it negates it. However, choose wisely because it's, again, a once per duel effect. So the next time you want to use its effect, you have to do it next game or next match, who knows. Next up is a mechanic I don't really like that much, and it's called cards that can activate it from the deck. I don't know their official name, but basically there are some cards where you can activate them from the deck, which you guys will see right here. Now let's take these two. Androsphinx and Sphinx Telia. I think I said those names right. Basically, if Pyramid of the Light is not on the field, they're both destroyed, which I don't have Pyramid of Light, unfortunately. And I don't want to edit it, so... Anyways, once those are destroyed, the Great Sphinx
from the deck will activate, and its effect is when these two are destroyed at the same time, I could bring out the Great Sphinx. You can either do this or bring it out from your hand. I don't really like the whole deck part because it feels cheating. So for me, I'd rather just have it in my hand. I'll play it like that. But if you guys want to play it from your deck, that's totally okay too. And that is another How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh video done. Do you guys like my playmat, by the way? I won this at my local tournament. They were giving them out like randomly, and I was the only one that got it. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And I have a new favorite deck, which one of these days I'll go over, which is Dark Warrior. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody. My name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over Union Monsters and Spirit Monsters. So Union Monsters are basically machine monsters sometimes, but they have the effect where you can equip a monster to itself. So, let's say you have Wide Dragon Buster. A requirement is you can target one X-Head Cannon, or in this case Z-Metal Tank, and equip it. So basically it becomes a spell card, an equip spell card, and some effects, and they have some effects when they're equipped too. So, another thing too is that most times when a monster will be destroyed by battle, you can just destroy the equip spell instead, and your equip monster is still in the field. Spirit monsters will have the effect that says Rock/Spirit, and their effects are that they can't be special summoned, and during the end phase they return to the hand. So let's say you kill a monster, right? You attack your opponent's boss monster or whatever. During your end phase, this returns to your hand. So a lot of people might not say it's the best, but there are some spirit cards out there that are useful. So that is it on How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! What do you guys think of the camera quality, by the way? I got a new phone. It's like a Samsung. But, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody. My name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we'll be going over question mark attacks and toon monsters. So as you guys know already, in Yu-Gi-Oh! There are most monsters that go from 0 attack as the lowest to 5,000 as their attack value. However, some cards have mystery attack and defense. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Usually there's an effect that allows it to gain attack. So for example, the Winged Dragon of Ra, when I summon it, it has 0 attack. But if I pay all but 100 of my life points, that's how much he'll gain. So let's say I have 10,000, right? I would pay 9,900 life points. He'll be at 9,900 attack, and I only have 100 life points. Which is strong, but at the same time, you can easily die from a card effect. Not all question mark attack monsters have this, but that's just an example. Next up is toon monsters. Toon monsters are regular monsters, but they have an alternative counterpart called toons. So as you guys see right here, I have a toon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Toon monsters have the word toon in there, and they have some effects. Basically, if you want to attack, you must pay 500 life points each turn, and they all need Toon World on the field. If Toon World is nowhere on the field, they're all destroyed. Just like that. Now here's one of the benefits of having a toon monster. They say that if your opponent does not control a toon monster, you can attack him directly. So let's just take my opponent's Destiny Hero Disc Commander, for example, right? Basically, since it's not a toon, we can just swing at them for game, or keep attacking until they're dead, or they destroy us. Or if they have a toon, but what's the scenario of that happening? Well, that's it for How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Hello everybody, my name is Zach and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! This time we're going to go over automatic wins and erratas. So what's an automatic win, you might ask? Basically, it's a second option to winning the game without killing your opponent's life points to 0, just like this card. But basically it reads, if you have all the materials in your hand plus itself, you win the duel. Your opponent can have all the strongest monsters in the game and you can have very little life points left. But if you're able to get all 5 pieces of Exodia, for example, or Final Countdown all on the board, or any win condition, then you win the duel, just like that.
There are plenty of other win conditions, but Exodia is the best one in my opinion. Now, what is an errata? Basically, it's when a card has changed its text, either very little or a significant amount. Usually it's with banned cards, or cards that used to be banned. So let's take a look. We got Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy the End. Now, for those of you who don't know, history lesson, this card was the reason why the Forbidden Unlimited list existed at one point. That's right, this card was so busted that it was banned for like decades. Maybe not decades, but a very long time. But the effect reads, this card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card can only be special summoned by banishing a light and dark from your graveyard. By paying 1,000 light points, you can send all cards on both players' hands and on the field to the grave and inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each. Now, there used to be a combo with this, Sangan and Yatagarasu. Let's just say this is Sangan, right? You'd set the Sangan, summon your Chaos, right? Nuke the field. Sangan's effect activates, grabbing you Errata, right? Errata Garasu. Your opponent will have nothing to stop it, so you attack it, and it skips your draw phase every time. Yeah, that combo was busted. But this effect, basically, once per turn you can pay 1,000 life points, but your opponent loses 300 damage for each card sent to their graveyard. Not both, only theirs. And it cannot activate any other effects for the rest of the turn. So, I still think it's an awesome card, just not as good as before. I was somehow lucky to get an IOC. This was my most expensive card ever that I bought. One of my favorites, too. But, yeah. Usually that's how erratas go. They change the ban cards to be somewhat playable, but not as good as before. So, yeah. So that is it on how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.